Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers.
We have a drum roll, please.
Yes, we do have that. And
All
I
right.
guess you're asking me to do that,
Yeah,
right?
we brought our own drummer with us.
Okay.
Drum roll, please. This year's prize at Cycle Search 2023, as we told you, not one, but two KO ATVs. We are giving away a KO Predator 125 and a KO Storm 150. How about it? Yeah, everybody give it up. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yes. Yes. Got capacity crowd here at Honda Suzuki Polaris Can-Am KO of Jackson. But no, I mean, and James Hamilton, the Total Media crew at Main Street TV, they're going to have some great pictures. You're going to see them on social media just a little later on. And, of course, Jen and James will have complete coverage on Main Street TV on Monday morning. You're going to see these things up close and personal. How cool are these things, man?
They're pretty cool, man. I mean, I like I said, I like twins, and I like these twins a lot. And I tell you, the beauty of this is someone is going to be making some amazing memories. And I think all of Southeastern Ohio can make a lot of great memories just trying to find them. But just imagine the memories that are going to be made for someone whenever they ride away on this.
Hey, baby, when we say real fun radio, we mean it. And if you can't have fun on a couple of cool KOs like this, then you just don't have a pulse. I mean, you got to stop by and see these things. They'll be on display here at Honda Suzuki Polaris Can-Am KO of Jackson, so you can stop out and see them really anytime. If they're not up front here where they are right now, just ask one of the staff members here in the shop. They'll let you know where they are. You can go check them out. But again, be listening because you could ride away on these.
All right, so now that we've revealed, can we reveal the first clue?
Here we go. Can we reveal the first clue, guys?
Go for it, Jed.
I have it.
You have it.
I'm going to reveal it.
Cycle Search 2023.
Cycle Search 2023. What a fun Friday afternoon to be able to announce the prize, the grand prize. All right, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Woo! Where's the drum roll?
Drum roll.
All right, here we go. I will save James's ears. Day one, Cycle Search is back, and we've doubled the fun. Keep listening. It's only just begun. There you go.
There it is.
Doubled the fun.
Double the fun.
All right, exactly.
How fun to take home two four-wheelers.
Somewhere in there is a true clue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you just have to figure it out.
There's a true clue within all the clues. That's why you have to listen every day and write them down and start putting them all together.
Yeah, don't message us or call in. You got to write them down as we go.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And it's already begun. Hey, buddy, old pal. Hey, buddy, pal, do you have next week's clues?
Yeah, right.
No.
Right, and don't bother asking here anybody on Main Street TV, at the Telegram, or the radio.
Because none of us know any more
because
than
they
you
don't trust us.
No. When your job is to put out and to tell everything you know, they're certainly not going to let the news crew know where
loose lips sink ships.
That's exactly right. Exactly.
That's the saying.
No, it was a fun afternoon out at of course, the Honda shop, and great to announce, there we all are, and great to announce the new prizes for this year's Cycle Search. And James and I did a little video as well, took a little tour of the place out there. So maybe be seeing that sometime soon as well, because it's just a really, really... Some of the stuff out there, I can't even explain it to you, how crazy it is.
Right, and you're going to do a clue each day here on Main Street TV, and I presume that Matt is doing the same thing on Matt in the Morning Show.
Correct.
On WKOV. 6:15 to 10 a.m. every day, live show. Lots of reasons to listen, but that is another one now.
That's exactly right. And to tune in here, if you missed it on the morning show on the radio, then you can also tune in here. So very good.
Got 2 opportunities.
That's right.
To hear it.
See, double again.
Right, and
It's all about 2 this year.
right, and in the Telegram's Saturday edition, and also online and on Facebook, we have a little summary of Cycle Search. What it's about, and got a picture of those fine individuals that are out front making it happen with the radio and,
Yes.
of course, Main Street TV.
Of course.
Right, see, there they are. There they are.
Oh,
What
my
a crew! What a crew! Would they mislead you? Would they
No,
mislead you?
not that crew
Just
at all.
trust them, and it could lead to those 2 wonderful vehicles, and you're
I
not going to get
know.
them at a better price, obviously.
You're right. I can't
And
believe you
remember,
didn't.
for the non-cyclists, the resale value is still pretty good too.
Hey,
right?
there you go. Yes, correct.
I liked the one that I saw on Facebook of JJ and Rodney
So,
sharing a hug there.
I was getting ready to tell you about that. So it was so funny because when we first started talking out there, I said, you guys should get on that 4-wheeler together. You'd look like Dumb and Dumber,
Don't
like
say
the
that.
movie.
Right.
And so they did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't
that was
challenge
a
them.
fun
I
fun
know.
photo.
So I'm like, oh my God. They look, do you have it? They look just like Dumb and Dumber. It was so funny.
That's funny now that you say that.
Well, and then also, speaking of that duo, JJ and Porterhouse,
There they are.
They're all
Yeah.
right. Look at that. Look at that.
That's funny.
And those are genuine smiles and laughs that are.
We had fun out there, yes.
Absolutely. And we do want to wish Porterhouse a belated birthday.
Yes, I actually sent him a message yesterday. And so if you see Rodney Tomlin out and about today, his birthday was yesterday, give him a smack for us.
Right, exactly. Porterhouse and JJ have been kind of like a duo for a long time. A little bit of an interruption in there when they went different ways, but they're back together again. And they're making Total Media, and especially on the radio side, the best that it can be.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Rodney, very creative behind the scenes.
Speaking of the 2 of them, if you guys don't know this, they are doing mornings on 105.3 in Athens right now. So you can listen online. You can go to yourtotalmedia.com/radio, click on the Power 105 tab, and you can listen to Rodney and JJ in the mornings on 105.5 out of Athens right now.
There you go.
Oh, how about that? I didn't even know that myself. Okay.
Wasn't aware. Speaking of birthdays, real quick shout out to our Stacy back in Zip Printing. It's her birthday as well.
Well, happy birthday, Stacy. So who does the cards for the people that does the cards?
That would be Brittany,
It'd be Brittany.
who is the main right-hand girl back there for
You
Stacey.
should see Stacy's card this year.
Yeah, so creative.
Very entertaining.
So creative and so humorous, the cards that she comes up with.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
so good that everybody usually tapes them up there in front of them in their office or on their wall.
Yes.
Rodney's is good this year too. If you haven't seen it,
No, I have not.
you'll have to go check them out before you leave.
Okay,
Right,
definitely.
very
They're
fun,
both entertaining.
very funny, but still PG. Most of them.
Well, very cool. All right, so lots of news popping up over the weekend. So I know you two are here to kind of deliver some different things that you all were working on.
Well, I tell you what, it is President's Day, and as a tip of that,
Why are we here?
Even though we're
Right.
working on President's Day,
Why
Where's
are
Arthur
we
Doyle?
here?
for all those people reclining at home, or their
Yeah.
alarms just now going off because they got to sleep in, we got to do just a little bit of President's Day trivia.
Okay.
And then we'll get into the heavy stuff.
Okay, all right.
But on this is President's Day. That means that the schools, I think probably all of them, are closed. Also, even though there's school activities that take place, like ball games and like that, and
Sure.
everything doesn't shut down. But most of the schools, if not all, are closed. Most of the governmental offices that are offices, not law enforcement, are also closed.
Right.
The lone exception being the city of Wellston. So
Call ahead, banks, all that stuff. Just
right,
call ahead.
right.
Before
So if you're not affected by President's Day and you're working and you're thinking, you go take care of some city or county business, probably not.
Yeah,
You'll have to
probably
wait,
not.
Have
Yeah.
to wait until tomorrow. Once again, the lone exception being the city of Wellston. Right. And then if you're a garbage customer in those cities and villages and you were scheduled for service today, it's just tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, all right. But President's Day. So we look at the local connections to President's Day. I'm gonna. You're a blonde, but you're a smart blonde. So
Oh, I don't know about that.
I'm gonna put you on. I'm gonna put you on. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Speaking of Dumb and Dumber.
Okay, we have had a number of former presidents that have stepped foot in Jackson County over the many years.
Okay.
But there is only one who was president at the time that he was in Jackson County. In other words, we've had people who became president or were presidents later or whatever, but this was the only person that was in Jackson County when he was the president of the United States. Do you know, Jennifer?
I'm just taking a stab. Was it Taft?
You're right.
Woo!
You are the winner. I didn't say there was any cash prize now. Okay.
No, I want the four-wheelers.
right. The date, the red letter date was May 8th, 1912. There is William Howard Taft right there. He was from Cincinnati, so he was also an Ohio president.
Yes.
And he was here to campaign, and he did it from the front porch of the courthouse.
Yes.
Had a huge crowd there.
So cool.
And it was one of the most famous campaigns in American history, the campaign of 1912. He had been elected in 1908. He was the handpicked successor of Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay.
And when he ran for re-election, by the time 1912 rolled around, Teddy decided he didn't like not being president, so he ran on a third-party ticket called the Bull Moose Party.
Yes.
And Woodrow Wilson, no relation, was the Democratic candidate. 9 days after Taft was here, Theodore Roosevelt was here campaigning from the depot down there on East Broadway Street. There he is.
We have a picture of that?
That's him standing
Holy
up kind
moly.
of underneath the, right on the train platform.
There's a picture of Taft at the courthouse too.
There is.
Yeah,
I've seen that one.
I have seen that one, but I
Yeah.
didn't have that in the files to send you, James. If you find it, just put it up there.
Well, we should. I think we should have last year on President's Day.
We may
I'm
have.
not gonna dig for it now because I didn't think about it ahead of time. But yeah,
But-
it's hanging in the library, I think.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
there it is.
that's
Well, I've
super
seen
cool.
it. I've seen it. It's
Seen it
certainly
there.
archived. But arguably, Teddy Roosevelt may have been the most famous man to ever visit Jackson County.
Okay.
Yeah. And he had been president. And in 1912, he wanted to be president again, but he was a Republican running as a third-party candidate.
Sure.
So was Taft. He was the incumbent. So that left the door open for the Democratic candidate, Woodrow Wilson, to be elected. And he was indeed elected
Because
in
they split the
1912.
vote.
And then in 1916, he was reelected because he kept us out of war. And then the next year, we were in war anyway. So
Gotcha.
anyway, who else, what other president has visited Jackson County, or a man who would be president? You got Taft and Roosevelt. There is one more, and that would be another Ohio president, William McKinley. William McKinley spoke at the Crescent Opera House, which is right next door to where Arch and Eddie's gathering place
Oh,
is.
yeah, yeah.
Where the parking lot is. There was
Yeah.
an opera house building there. McKinley came before he was president and while he was governor. It may have been when he had already said that he was going to run for president, but he also visited Harvey Wells at Harvey Wells' house in Wellston then too.
Okay.
There is no documented evidence that he did, but there is a lot of allegorical evidence
Sure.
where people say that it happened, and that's according to the Wellston Historical Association. So those are the three: William McKinley,
Cool.
William Howard Taft, and Teddy Roosevelt.
Well,
And
you are forgetting one, Pete.
Yeah. You're forgetting Joe Biden stopped at Cardos.
oh my gosh, that's right, I did. That's so current. Right
I
in my
know.
date.
It's like you don't think about it.
Joe Biden was
Yeah.
at Cardos when he was before he was president, when he was vice president,
Yeah.
campaigning for Obama.
Yeah.
Right. And the other person who was in one of our local counties, we have to go over the county line to Vinton County, 1960, a whistle stop in Hamden, believe it or not,
Yeah.
by Richard Nixon.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And Nixon's grandfather actually lived in Vinton County and is buried in a Vinton County cemetery. His name was Nixon. So Nixon was not from Ohio, but he had those Ohio roots.
Okay.
So William Howard Taft, not Franklin D. Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Teddy Roosevelt, Joe Biden, and Richard Nixon are our local connections.
You know what's funny is I never thought about it, but I think on my mom's side there's, or it's either, one of my sides, there's Nixon in there from Benton County.
Could be.
And I was like, oh, maybe I'm
Yeah,
related.
he talked about having the family connections with Benton County, and his grandfather was a Republican leader in Benton County in his day. So, all right. Well,
Cool.
we are going to go now. That Jeremiah Shaver's here for a reason, not as a hood
not to
ornament
play
here on the on the
trivia.
platform, right? I give credit to our man here. He had an idea to do a story last weekend. You know, all the things going on in East Palestine.
Oh, my
where they had the
goodness.
train derailment, and it was a little bit of a latent reaction.
Yeah.
But
Craziest thing ever
a lot
going on, and nobody's talking about it.
A lot of fears about the contamination, the pollution, the immediate effects, and a lot of worry about maybe effects down the road because of the chemicals.
Sure.
So a lot of people are asking, even down here, 3 hours away,
Yeah.
Is our water safe?
Sure.
Well,
That's
Jeremiah.
a fair question.
Jeremiah got on the horn. That's the phone. And he asked all the people that are in charge of the water about that. And we have a story that is online now. Have it hooked to Facebook. We made it free because it's an important issue. The print version will be in our Wednesday paper, and we may update it if there's anything to update. But Jeremiah, tell us whether our water is safe, or at least tell us what everybody who knows said whether our water is safe.
Sure, Pete. So the overall census from knowledgeable officials locally is our local water supply in Jackson County should not be affected by the incident that happened in East Palestine. That happened on February 3rd, Jen, is when that happened.
Yeah. Best kept secret in the United States.
It was Friday, February 3rd, just before 9 p.m. Nobody was hurt in the incident when it was about 36 cars derailed there in East Palestine, and it's a village located on the almost to the Ohio-Pennsylvania border, and it was carrying a number of hazardous materials along with it. According to the Associated Press, over the weekend following that derailment, firefighters worked to contain the blaze caused by the derailment. Authorities eventually grew concerned about rising temperatures in a single rail car. And they decided that, they were worried about a explosion because of the temperature rising in that car. So they decided to do a controlled release of a hazardous chemical known as vinyl chloride. Because of the burning of that chemical, it causes other toxic chemicals to be produced. So there was an evacuation of that area up there in East Palestine. And if, for those watching, James has got a picture on the screen here of when they were doing that toxic release.
Phew.
Big old plume of chemicals there going up into the
Yeah,
sky.
great.
That would concern you.
That
Neighborhood,
doesn't
wouldn't it?
necessarily make me feel so good. No.
No, and there's a
Not
lot
warm
of
and fuzzy.
a lot of interesting photos out there that was taken of that. So there's been some of the chemical from that train derailment, I guess, did make its way into the Ohio River and had made its way downstream. So there was local concern on whether or not, would that get into our local water supply?
Yeah, because I know, like even like Huntington and some of the towns on the river there
Portsmouth and
were very
Cincinnati
concerned.
And, different places there were worried about that. The city of Jackson was a little proactive here locally and put out a memo for everybody to see on Thursday, February 16th, talking about the water quality. This was put out just to kind of ease people's minds for the local water supply here in the city of Jackson. Jackson utilizes Hammertown Lake, which is the Jackson City Reservoir, as its raw water supply.
Which is kind of isolated,
Right.
know.
And Ron Aldridge, who is the head of the department for the city of Jackson for the water, said the treatment plant is designed to filter and settle out any chemicals that naturally occur within the environment. He said since the lake does not share any tributaries that were affected by the train derailment in East Palestine, there's no possibility of contamination from the disaster here. And then he had said that any fallout from the air would follow the normal jet stream. And since we're not downwind from where that tragedy took place, there was very slim chance that anything air-wise would affect us here. I looked by way of road. It's about a little over 4 hours from here. So after them putting this memo out, I talked to Pete and decided, I probably should reach out to the other villages, cities,
Yeah.
water entities in Jackson County to find out their thoughts. And I also reached out to the Jackson County Emergency Management Agency. I talked to Robert Chekleski about it, and he told me that he had no concern about the water supply in Jackson County. And that he suggested, because a lot of the county water comes from Jackson County Water Company, to reach out to the general manager there, Larry Foster, to get his thoughts. And I had sent an email but hadn't heard anything, so I gave him a call Friday morning and was able to talk to Mr. Foster. And he said that they were back and forth on putting something out, and then after they received my email, they decided to go ahead and put something out.
Okay.
Mr. Foster told me that, residents in our area are no doubt concerned about the impact that the derailment had, in East Palestine. He said, fortunately for Jackson County water customers, there is no danger of contamination to the drinking water for the service area. He explained that Jackson County's water is sourced from groundwater from a well fill in Ross County, which is completely independent from any potential contaminated water sources from the Columbiana County area. And that's nowhere near the Ohio River either.
Sure. So I guess the main concern is that certainly, I think that's not arguable that it did contaminate the Ohio River, and so if your water supplies the Ohio River, I could see where you would be a bit concerned.
Right. And
otherwise, not so much.
Not so much. And they said they would continue to monitor it as they're required by the EPA to do that.
Sure.
So the village, I reached out to Colton Mayor Kim Milliken up at the village of Colton because I wasn't sure where their water comes from, and their water comes from Jackson County Water.
Okay.
So they're okay.
Same.
Yeah. Their supply would be safe as well. Now, the village of Oak Hill obtains its drinking water from Soda Water Incorporated. Soda Water gets its drinking water from ground wells that pump from the Soda River Valley Aquifer. And Oak Hill also has an emergency connection to Jackson County Water Company as well.
Okay.
Soda Water had put out a memo to their customers, and they said, let's see here. This is what it said in part, because I didn't include a portion of it because it pertained to Portsmouth and some cities along the river, because some of the water comes from there for that particular area of the state. Now, this part of Soda Water, it's a Soda Water's Franklin Furnace treatment plant is supplied by groundwater sourced from, let's see, did I not put in there where it was supplied from? I think theirs comes from a underground well as well, but I think I left that out of here, Pete.
Well as well.
Because where I hand typed that, I didn't include that, so I'll have to include that in there. But they basically weren't too concerned about this area and said that if there was any changes that they would notify our customers immediately. Now, the city of Wellston, I reached out to Wellston Mayor Anthony Brenner on what I thought was his day off, because they are closed on Fridays now.
Yeah.
Because of their change, and he said the employees are off, but he still works. So I wasn't bothering him when I gave him a call. He said the city of Wellston gets its drinking water from Little Raccoon Creek and an abandoned mine as a groundwater source. He was not concerned about contamination, but did say that they would be doing additional testing just as precautionary measures, just
Fair
in
enough.
case. And that runs down all of the villages and cities and county where the water sources come from.
So the bottom line is, unless you're swimming in the Ohio River in East Palestine, you're probably don't need to worry so much.
Right, but you understand with all the publicity on the the reporting on the national TV, people would be concerned. But
2 weeks later,
but
mind
it's
you.
basically there's no direct connection between our water and East Palestine because of the river. And when you get your water from the groundwater, that is a different source totally. Sure. So that's the good news. And once again, this story is already posted on our website, so you can check it out for all the detail. Jeremiah went over a good bit, but there's more in there that he didn't say, and if and he may be adding just a little bit to that as well. and we didn't have Vinton County included, but I know that most of Vinton County is served by the Jackson County Water Company.
Okay.
Also, the Leading Creek Conservancy, which also uses groundwater. And the village of MacArthur, I know in part, has had an aquifer north of town that they've used. Once again, that's groundwater.
Yes.
So it would appear that Vinton County is in kind of the same boat as Jackson County as far as
Cool.
the water goes. So
We'll take it.
So, all right.
Yes.
Well, Jeremiah, thank you very much for coming
Thanks,
on
buddy.
and going over that. And that is, whenever, that's a story that's, as Jeremiah said, several hours away, but,
That's a concern.
we worry about it here. You don't know. And so that's why, he did all the legwork to get that in there. And when we do have things at the state and national level where there is a connection or relation, we'll try to determine what that is and report on that as well.
Cool.
If we think of it.
Yeah. There
All
you
right.
go. In your spare time, right?
Right, exactly.
So I'm going to take my leave.
Yes.
Thank you for
Thanks,
having me this morning.
Jeremiah.
Got to get to it. Had a lot of meetings last week, so be sure to look for that in future editions.
Okay.
Right.
Very
Y-
good.
Be sure to stop by the water cooler and don't worry a thing about it.
That's
Sure.
right.
Thank
All
you.
right. Oh, you know what I did? I went into newspaper, but if I didn't go into newspaper, and that's a story in and of itself, I would have probably been a history teacher because I love history.
Yes.
All right. So that was why I had to throw in some presidential
No,
trivia.
love that.
But I cannot believe this. I left out one of the men who was president, who would become president, that was in Jackson County. And it was probably, in addition to the 1912 things, the biggest political event in Jackson County history. And that was Burgoo Day in 1920.
Who, what?
Warren G. Harding.
Uh-huh.
Warren G. Harding, who was elected the president in 1920 on the Republican side. He was from Marion, Ohio.
Okay.
And he had a major campaign event in Jackson that was truly almost a national event. It was publicized by the New York Times even.
Oh, my.
They came from all over. I'm not sure why they chose Jackson, but they had
Interesting.
it. It was a big rally out where the Robin Hill subdivision is now.
Okay.
Before there were apple trees out there, I think even.
Wow.
But it was high on a hill out there. They had thousands of people there, and they served burgoo. Do you know what burgoo is?
I do not.
Well, burgoo is kind of like a poor man's beef stew.
Uh-huh.
And they had tons of it. They had other food as well. And Harding came here, spoke. That was on October the 20th, 1920. 2 or 3 weeks later, whenever Election Day was, he was elected in a major, and not in a landslide, but easily over another Ohioan named James Cox, who was in the newspaper business, so they didn't trust him. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, Harding was elected, served 3 or 4 years, and of course he died in office. But Harding, they were so much appreciated, Harding coming here, that they renamed, that's how we got Harding Avenue in Jackson.
Oh.
Do you know what it used to be called?
No.
Railroad Street. Because, there was an old railroad depot there that isn't there anymore.
Oh.
Right. So Railroad Street
Interesting.
became Harding Avenue, and some of the locals said, I suppose they were Democrats maybe, they didn't want it renamed
I bet.
after Harding, but since he came here, they did it.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Okay, well, we'll go
Speaking
to...
of which, Pete, Red says that JFK made an appearance somewhere in our region.
JFK. Well, now that's one that...
Wow.
There's a lot of presidential candidates that have visited Athens over the years because of the university there, and Athens being kind of like a center of learning in Southeast Ohio. I wasn't aware that Kennedy was in Jackson County. I've never heard that one. Now maybe in Vinton County, I've never heard about it.
All right, Red, you got to give us all the dirty
Yeah,
deets
if
on
Red
that.
knows some things we don't know, he's going to have to share it with James there on a comment. But we'll let you know what Red knows that we don't know.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we're going to go to some other news right now, and we've talked a lot about the Luby Theater and
Yes.
the fact that it is in line for demolition.
Yes.
Well, guess what?
Oh no.
They're going to try to save it again. It is still on the demolition list. They
Okay.
have a contract for $27,000 with Harry Sutcliffe to tear it down.
Yes.
That contract has not yet been approved, but it could be approved almost any time, and it could be torn down almost any time. But at last Thursday night's Wellston City Council meeting, as reported by our Philip Buffington, Anthony Brenner, who is the mayor of Wellston now,
Yes.
was the service director. He said that he found a possible funding source called the Historic Preservation Grant through the state
Okay.
that might provide the big amount of money needed to do some historic preservation work to preserve the building.
Okay.
That would give it a start. He is going to try to see if they can get that grant. Now, if they're going to get the grant, it's going to have to come through the city. So there is a proposal for from the current owners, Steve and Melissa Hammond of MacArthur, who own the Louis, to sell it to the city for $10,000. Then the city would be able to get the grant more than private owners would, because
Sure.
it's a public entity. So that's the direction that they're going to try to go. City
Okay.
council heard about it. No commitment was made, but it seems like that they're going to let Anthony give that a try. Now, if it goes through, there's no guarantee they'll get the grant. There's no guarantee that it will be enough money to once they preserve the building, to do something with the building.
Sure.
As far as an activity or whatever. And the danger is then that they could lose the money to tear it down if that's what they do, because time will pass. They're
Yes.
hoping the window for demolition projects was extended by a year. So even when they do the contracts, they have now more than a year to get it done.
Okay.
So in the interim, while they're waiting, they're going to ask the land bank, hey, listen, put this contract on hold while we see if we can save the building. And if they don't, he's hoping they'll still have time to award
To demo it.
to execute the contract.
Well, what, so thinking forward, so say the building is saved, Pete, what are they going to, what's the plan for it?
Well, they see it as being some kind of a community center where there could be events, performances. There is the Louis right there. Now, it's actually, even though it's circa 1930s, and it looks a little old there, obviously, it is actually structurally, the walls and like that are supposed to be safe.
Yes.
However, there's no roof.
I was just missing that roof part.
Right. Now, they've even talked about having an open air, making it an open air structure and doing things, that would be outdoor things in there. Now, if they do tear it down, one of the proposals is to do a parking lot, which some people think, is that the best we can do? Maybe
Yeah.
put something else there. But I understand that on the street parking is a little bit of
Sure.
a problem in Wellston.
Cities need parking.
It is trying to
like,
come back
you know.
with some of the new businesses there, and businesses trying to get going. But there are some apartments and like that take up parking spaces there, and they really do not want people who live there to park on the street and take spots from potential business customers. So the parking is considered an issue if the Louis comes down. The city thinks a parking lot may be good.
Okay.
With paved spots or whatever.
Sure.
And it would be not so much to make revenue, but just to maintain what they have.
Yes.
So anyway, we will see what happens. It isn't that the Louis is going to be saved, but it might be saved.
Okay.
There's going to be one attempt. Every time that it's on the demo list, or they're talking about, people come forward, the nostalgia comes
It's
out.
like it has
and
nine lives.
quite frankly, they know what happened with the Marquee here in Jackson.
Yeah.
And they know that it is possible.
Yeah.
Now, the Marquee was it was both public and private funding.
Yes.
They got a lot of capital money. Barbara Summers worked
Oh,
her
my
tail off, and
goodness.
Maxine Plummer.
Yes.
It was over a period of 20 years that happened. A lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of private fundraising went
Yep.
along with the grants they got. So, you just can't say you want it and dream and make it happen. You've got to come up with the money and a plan and a lot of probably volunteer work
Sure.
and commitment. So, but it's possible that it may happen.
Update from Red. He says he knows for sure that JFK was in his hometown of Ravenswood, West Virginia.
Okay, well, that's close.
Cool.
That's close. Okay. Well, we appreciate that. Ravenswood.
Thanks, Red.
Ravenswood, just about a little over an hour away, right there on the river. That was, if you didn't know, that's Red Thompson's hometown.
Very good.
Ravenswood,
West Virginia.
Right on the Ohio River, just up the river from Meigs County.
Cool.
So, thank you very much, Red, for participating. I did not know
Yeah.
Kennedy was that close.
Did not know either.
Right. Okay. All right. Some political news happened on Friday, and we were the first to report it. But former mayor of Wellston, Connie Pelletier, announced that she is withdrawing as a candidate for
Oh.
Wellston mayor.
Okay.
So that leaves two candidates. That had been the high interest item in the primary election that's coming up on May the 2nd. There were three candidates, Connie being one of them, for the Republican nomination for Wellston mayor. Connie
Yes.
decided to step aside. She actually turned in her paperwork, I think on last Tuesday at the Board of Elections, and of course, to get it out publicly, she made an announcement and confirmation to me, released a statement. And I know people are wondering, why Connie, was going
Yeah.
to run for mayor and then decided not to. She was mayor, of course, in a very important time for Wellston
Very
from
much.
2010 through
Yes.
2018. She deserves a lot of credit for leading the effort to get the city out of fiscal emergency, some of the darkest days in Wellston history.
For sure.
She will always have that, to be proud of and on her political and government service resume. But here is what she said on her change of decision. Quote, when the elected mayor of Wellston resigned, that's Charlie Hudson, resigned, my initial reaction was to jump in and help. These were the same instincts that led me to throw my hat in the ring in 2010 and then spend the next 8 years as mayor working to help our city grow from fiscal emergency,
Yeah.
$2.4 million in debt, that's how bad it was, to over $1 million of reserve. However, after contemplating the emotional and personal cost that campaigning and politics would have on my family again, I reluctantly came to the decision to withdraw my name from consideration.
Okay.
That leaves two candidates for Wellston mayor on the Republican side, Anthony Brenner, who was appointed by the Jackson County Republican Party Central Committee, specifically the Wellston caucus. Connie had sought that appointment too. If she had received that appointment, I don't know whether she would have withdrawn or not because, she has the appointment. And then the other candidate that remains in there for the Republican nomination is longtime former city councilman Tom Clark.
Okay.
Now, right now, no Democratic candidate filed, so there will be no Democratic candidate on the ballot either in the primary or in the general. However, independent candidates can have until May 1st to file. That's the day before the primary.
Yes.
And it's not unusual to have independent candidates run. But if no independent or write-in candidate files, the next mayor of Wellston will be decided in the May 2nd primary election.
Okay.
Now, kind of like a related issue that's happening right now, Anthony Brenner was the service director in Wellston, right?
Sure.
Okay. So what is he doing about that position since he's now the mayor? Well,
Doing both.
Well, that's what I kind of thought, but he knows that the mayor
I'm
is a
kidding.
big deal too.
Yeah.
He has had Jeff Bates and Ryan Pelletier, who are two of the top supervisors, administrators there in Wellston City government. While Ryan is the fire chief and the code enforcement officer, he wears those two hats. Jeff Bates is involved in infrastructure in the street, I think, and he's been doing it for a while. They are sharing the service director duties. I'm sure Anthony is directing it.
Okay.
Someone asked Anthony, you ask, well, why haven't you appointed somebody as service director? Those guys are already busy and you're busy as mayor. Well,
Sure.
He's got a good logical reason. If he is not elected on May the 2nd, whoever he appoints as service director may not keep the job because
Right.
Tom Clark or whoever may get elected on down the line may want a different service director.
That's true.
So he feels it's not really feasible thing to do. If he gets elected or gets nominated as the mayor and maybe de facto elected as the mayor because there's no other candidate, he says that he will appoint a service director.
Okay.
It may be somebody that's within the city government now, or it could be somebody else. But that is the latest story
Makes
on
sense to
the
me.
politics and the governmental administration in Wellston. Okay, we want to tell you about a case that the Jackson City Police Department solved. And there have been a number of cases, multiple cases involving theft from storage units. This is just one of them. There is another one that
Okay.
we'll maybe tell you about later in the week. But this involves a Lawrence County man who was suspected of breaking into storage units out on Mayhew Road. That occurred on February the 1st. And there was video surveillance there at the storage units, as there often is.
Yes.
The police had a description of a white Ford pickup truck that was seen at the time that it appeared that storage units were burglarized.
Yes.
Okay. They were on patrol, and one recent day they saw a truck matching that description right out in front
I
here.
was just saying, it all came down out front of our building.
It did. There was a truck out there, and
Well, it's a very unique white pickup truck. So if you saw that driving down the road, you'd be like, there it is.
well, anyway, to make a long story short, they ended up going to Lawrence County. They were helped out by the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office because that's where the alleged thieves live. And
But they caught him here in Jackson.
they caught him here in Jackson, and they ended up arresting Daryl Lee Carrico, age 38, of State Route 93 Decatur. That is kind of like on the way to Ironton on State
Okay.
Route 93. They have recovered a lot of the goods that were stolen out of those storage units, and it took the video surveillance,
Oh,
and
buddy.
then police being sharp-eyed, and obviously a little bit of luck that they happened to run into this white pickup truck. And if the white pickup truck is from Lawrence County, why they're hanging around Jackson?
I was
the
going to
next
ask,
week,
like, what are you doing?
I'm not really sure.
Don't
it was
come
right.
back to the
it was right.
scene
In,
of the
it was right
crime.
in front of Burger King. So
It was.
maybe like we do, they smelled the Whoppers cooking. But anyway, kudos to the Jackson Police Department because that just didn't happen on its own.
No, for sure.
And we have that story online, and it will be in our Wednesday edition.
That's also a very positive thing that social media does, because I know that some people that had things stolen had posted the pickup truck on Facebook. So it was like, if you saw that pickup truck out and about driving, which I'm sure the police did too, had seen those pictures. So that's a positive for social media.
Yeah, it is, and the law enforcement agencies now use Facebook as a way to get tips and like that.
Yeah.
And so it's another effective tool.
Yeah.
Because hundreds of set of eyes are better than one set of eyes.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's a way that you can help, and you can do it in such a way it's anonymous. You can help anonymous. If you're worried about getting involved or whatever,
Right.
they are interested in the information. They will follow up on the tips.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. Okay, here is a good news story, not about any contaminated water or about
theft
or about thefts from storage units or anything like that. They had the district spelling bee in Jackson recently, and at the most recent meeting of the Jackson City Board of Education, they honored those top spellers, and there they are. I'm going to tell you their names from left to right. They're in the front row, of course, and the adults, the school board members, and the administrators are in the back. But in the front, from the left, are you have, make sure I've got them in the right order here. Okay, you have Matthew Hauser, who was the 5th place. No, I'm sorry, you have Mason Shepard, who was the winner. Mason Shepard was the winner of the spelling bee. He finished in 1st place. Then you have Matthew Hauser, who was the 2nd place finisher. Then you have Vera Wright, who was the 3rd place winner. And then you have Cooper Harris, who was the 4th place winner. And the 4th place winner was Isabel Wright. I'm sorry, I gave you her parents' name. Isabel Wright is the 4th place winner, and Cooper Harris is the 5th place winner. He is on the very end there. And I know I left one out, so let me go back. That would be...
It's a girl name.
Yes, I'm looking here. Okay, I'm sorry. Vera Wright is the daughter of Michelle Wright. And then you have Matthew Hauser, and then you have Mason Shepard. Okay. Well, anyway.
We'll figure it out.
Right. The board members are in the back. They're all there. Those are the 5 winners there. We'll have that picture in our Wednesday edition, and we will be posting that online as well.
Cool.
But those are...
Congrats. You all can do something that I surely can't do.
Right, exactly.
Spell.
Right, and when you're anywhere from the 5th to the 8th grade, and you're standing up in front of them, and you get one of those hard words, and maybe you're not sure how to spell it or you don't know. I mean, that is fear.
It is fear. And you know what, Pete, too? Spelling things out loud versus even writing them down is a completely different scenario as well.
Exactly.
Because you can write it and be like, oh, that doesn't necessarily look right. That's not right. But
No.
spelling it, just saying it is
They
no
say,
way.
They say the English language is one of the hardest to learn and also the hardest to spell because we've got all these derivations that come from different languages, and we have words that the words that sound the same but they're spelled differently and all like that. So anyway, I'm sticking with English. I'm not going to learn Spanish or I did the Latin thing, and it wasn't as good as they said it was as far as words go.
True that.
We had to work too hard there to learn some words. But anyway, we have Alex Shope with us now.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm having Alex does a great job doing first of all, anything that I need him to do. But he has really done an excellent job covering some business stories for us.
Yes.
Whether it's ribbon cuttings, a new business, an expansion, a relocation, or whatever. We like to support the business community. He attends some of the events of the Jackson Area Chamber of Commerce, which is very active as well. And one of the stories that he did recently, and it's already been in the paper and it's online, is everything that is happening with Fab D Boutique.
Yes.
That is Deanna Goodman.
Yep.
And there is Fab D Salon. So she's really known for both. That's a, quote, hair care beauty shop.
Yes.
Standard. I think she does a lot of things there, or has done a lot of things there.
Sure thing.
It is closing, not because there's a problem with it. It's because Fab D Boutique has been so successful.
Oh my goodness.
It's got a physical presence in Jackson County, but a huge market online that she has created.
Just exploded.
It is a great entrepreneurial success story that's a little hidden because so much of it is online.
Yes.
But Alex has covered that. He made communications with Deanna, and he did a story on it. So, Alex, come on over and tell us about Fab D Boutique and what's happening with Fab D Salon as a result.
Yeah, can't be more proud of Deanna. She's really, really done a great job. What's up, buddy?
Just older and weirder, How are you?
I'm well.
Good.
I'm well. Yeah.
But no, I did get to talk with Miss Maynard Goodman. There for a while. I think we did a story on her a couple years ago, but at the time I felt there was a need to expand on a couple of things because she's written a book in the meantime, and
I didn't know that part.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she's written her own book. I detail on her story and the success of Fab D and a couple other things.
Yeah.
No, as Pete said, the success of Fab D Boutique is kind of large. I mean, she ships to places like Costa Rica and
like all over the world.
Oh, absolutely.
She has a huge following. Cool.
But she was recently, what really caught our attention was she was recently featured in Voyage ATL magazine.
Okay.
Just a small little media thing. I think they do like tourism stuff, and she frequents Atlanta quite a bit. Apparently, I mean, I'm not sure, but she says that she frequents Atlanta quite frequently for business reasons and to speak to her mentor and things like that. And I guess that her success caught their attention for Voyage ATLs and such. But I guess her success caught their attention. There's an actual interview that they did with her where you get lots of information on.
That's cool. Where do you find that?
With Voyage ATL magazine.
Okay.
I don't have the website off the top of my head, but it's probably
just
something
Google
like
it.
voyageatl.com.
Okay. So with the success, tell everybody a little bit about what she does. Cause I think we missed that part. You don't assume that everybody knows what Fab D does.
No, absolutely. She offers a line of clothes. I believe some of it's for, or most of it is for plus sized
yes
women and such. Her she's focusing right now, I believe she said, on a line of cosmetics like beauty products
Okay.
and things such as that. But she has a real desire to expand and grow her business and to uplift a lot of her customers. So
And I think that that's the thing that Deanna does so well is, a lot of women get stuck in this whole body shaming, thing. And she, is so motivational and so into, embrace yourself and, you're beautiful no matter what. Like, we're all beautiful people. Like, we all look different, and she does such a good job of that. And so proud of her for developing that following. There she is. Look at her. She just rocks it. She's so cute. But you had mentioned so FabD got started with a salon, and it has done hair and whatnot for quite some time, has raised that business and built that business up. But unfortunately now she's a little busy with the other part of it.
Yes.
And you said that she might be closing her salon.
yes, I believe she is closing her salon at the start of March.
Okay.
I don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure that's what
Okay.
she mentioned, was that she was going to close at the start of March to focus more on her online business and the growth of her business. Which
Yeah, if you look for pink, Deanna is there.
Yes. She even drives a pink car, I think.
I think she does.
Yeah.
she even has an app at this point, like the FabD Boutique app.
Oh,
and such.
cool.
So I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
she's
can grow on that.
killing it, man. So proud of
Mhm.
her.
Right,
Pretty
that's
much.
just a success story that's definitely worth sharing. And she does a lot of her stuff online, gets a lot of her promotion online. But she did reach out to us when she made her appearance in Atlanta, and so I knew then, and then Alex did the legwork that story deserved to be told.
Absolutely.
'Cause
Very cool.
You can make it happen.
Yeah. Local girl
Yeah.
does good.
Got the vision, have the dream, put legs under it,
Yes,
and go. And
just go.
she's done. So congratulations to her.
Yeah, she
Yep.
has. She's put a lot of work into it.
Oh,
I think you
yes.
mentioned that she opened in 2015, and she had an arson event that she literally came back from the ashes from. So she's
Yeah, you're
she's
not
done,
kidding.
No, she's done a lot of work. She's done a lot of work and a lot of good work. So
Yes.
she's worked hard
Yep.
to get where she is.
Well, congratulations.
Okay,
well deserved.
Thank you very much, Alex,
course.
for doing the excellent work on that story and for sharing it here with us on Main Street TV.
Yep.
No worries.
Thanks, Alex.
No problem.
You may be dismissed now
All right. Well,
as he runs out.
Well, Alex was talking about FabD Boutique. I was looking at my sheet on the spelling bee. I got to clean up my mess there. It threw me because there are two girls named Wright. So I figured, well, where's the fifth
Oh.
one? So I'm going to tell you again who they were. The first place winner was Mason Shepard. The second place winner was Matthew Hauser. The third place winner was Vera Wright. The fourth place winner was Isabel Wright. And the
Okay.
fifth place winner was Cooper Harris. I'm not sure
Gotcha.
whether the Wright girls are sisters or not, but
I wonder
they
if
made
they're
me,
related.
the Wright girls made me say it wrong. All right. So I apologize for
You're
that.
so witty, Pete.
All right. Okay. We're getting close to Apple Festival time, as you know, because we have those Queens contests.
Yes.
I think we're going to have the Little Queens the same weekend, but we've got to confirm that. But we know that
I'm sure it is.
applications are now being taken for Little Queen as well as the Big Queen. The Big Queen, if you didn't get them in, you're out because the deadline was last Saturday.
That's right.
But however, everybody can enter the 2023 Jackson Apple Festival theme contest.
James, we've got to do it this year.
Right. This is
Every
the
year we say
82nd
this.
Apple Festival, and here's how you can enter. You can submit a theme by mailing it to the Apple Festival, care of the theme contest. That's Post Office Box 488 in Jackson, or you can email it to jaffe.oh@gmail.com, and we've got this online.
Okay.
All right. We have it online already, or it will be this morning because Alex is back at work, and we'll have it in the paper as well. You include your name and phone number with your entry. They want your entry to be 2 sentences or less.
Yeah, it
But that's a
has to
lot
be-
of decorations for
Yeah.
those floats. All entries will be narrowed down, and a live vote on the Jaffe Facebook page to pick the final theme will be done All entries must be received by Tuesday, February 28th. At that point, Facebook voting will begin. I presume, depending on how many entries they get, they may eliminate some of them and vote on
Sure.
several of
Okay.
of what they consider to be the best. But that contest will start on Friday, February 3rd, the online contest, where you pick somebody. You don't submit a theme. You pick one of the themes that made the final cut, and that's through a 2-week period, March 3 to March 17, and then they'll announce the winning theme at those Queens contests
That's
on
right.
the weekend of April 7th.
And you get a
8th.
little money out of it
Yes,
if you're the winner.
it is $100.
Yeah.
$100 for coming up, with one little inspiration and sending it
Exactly.
their way.
But it's so important because it's what the Apple Festival is based off of, all the floats and booths and all that stuff for the entire year. So
Right.
that's pretty neat.
Okay, we want to tell you
The pressure's on.
if you've got your property tax notices in the mail, which you
Unfortunately.
should have been. The deadline to pay at least the first half in Jackson County is this Friday, February 24th. So you do that. You can do it online. You can do it at West Banco, but you can also do it at the drop. You can also do it at the courthouse in the treasurer's office as well. And they've got a drop box as long as it's not cash that you can use too. In Vinton County, the treasurer there, that's Vicki Maxwell. It's Lee Hubbard in Jackson. He's the Jackson County treasurer. Vicki Maxwell announces that real estate taxes had been mailed up there as well. The first half is due Thursday, March the 2nd. Mobile home taxes are due March the 16th. You can pay with a check, money order, or cash. The treasurer's office in Vinton County, right there in MacArthur, is open 8:30 a.m. to 4. They have a drop box too. They don't want you to put cash in the drop box though. The postmark on the
Sure.
payment will be honored considering the due date or before if payments are made through the U.S. Postal Service. Right now, you cannot do it online because of some technical difficulties. All right, we also want to tell you that Bellisio Foods is doing open interviews. They asked us to help them out on that. It's going to be Friday at the URG branch here in Jackson, the Rio Grande branch there
cool.
on East Main Street.
Easy to get in and out of.
They have immediate second and third shift openings, which include an additional $1 per hour because of the shift differential.
Yeah.
They pay a little bit more because you're working late in the day. Starting wages are $13.60 an hour for production, $14.97 up to $15.50 for warehouse, $14.97 an hour for sanitation. Of course, they have insurance, 401k, gym memberships, monthly drawings. They have that health clinic down
They
there.
do.
So, if you're looking
Great
for a
place.
job or a different job, once again, this is at 980 East Main Street, the URG Center, from 12 p.m. to 2 this Friday. We'll maybe remind you about that later in the week. All right. We also want to tell you on the sports side,
Yeah.
we've got the Jackson Ironmen won their first tournament game.
Woohoo! Good job, guys.
Yes, they defeated River Valley 67-35. In the background, in the white, number 14, that's Boston Campbell. He wears number 14. He had 14 points in that game.
Oh, cool.
And Evan Jarvis scored 23, his teammate, the senior teammate to lead the Ironmen. They now make the long trip to New Lexington. We always got to GPS that one. It's up there somewhere before you get to Zanesville.
My first college roommate was from New Lexington, and I can verify that you can't get there from here.
It's hard. State Route 93, if you want to take it all the way, is one way. But anyway, New Lexington on Wednesday evening, that will be on the air at 7 p.m. on WKOV 96.7 FM. And then both the Wellston Golden Rockets and the Oak Hill Oaks, these are boys basketball. They play their first round games. They hope it's just their first round games and they'll keep winning. They both play on the road on Tuesday.
Okay.
So those games, once again, will be on the radio as two, WCJO for Oak Hill, WYPC 1330 AM and the companion FM 105.3 FM for Wellston. So we will follow all the boys teams as long as they stay in there. Vinton County also plays on Wednesday. They travel to Warren Local. That game can be heard on WYRO 98.7 FM.
Cool.
All the tournament games on the radio and, of course, online as well.
Love that.
All right, so there we are. That swings us right into the 10 o'clock hour. Now you can tell them maybe about that we're going to have some really good weather coming.
Well, we
up
got
this
one
week.
more President's Day comment. So Rick
Okay.
Sims says he always heard that Mamie Eisenhower visited Jackson when Ike was running for president and had a tea party at some women's organization.
Okay, well, you know what? That's
Interesting.
one that I have not heard, but it's a presidential lady, first
Love
lady,
that.
so that is very possible.
Yes.
We know that a famous first lady, Rutherford B. Hayes' wife, Lucy Hayes, called Lemonade Lucy because she didn't allow alcohol in the White House. She was, yeah, no, that was a big deal. I mean, when you go there, you expect to get a drink, but on
Lemonade Lucy.
there's
Gotcha.
a local connection there too. She's from Chillicothe. Did you know
Really?
that?
No.
Lucy Hayes. Yeah, she's from Chillicothe. There's a Lucy Hayes house there that they open up every now and then, not all the time.
Cool.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Rick Sims is one of our most loyal listeners.
Yes, contributors to the for
so
sure.
we appreciate that. That is one I don't know, Rick. We're going to try to look up and nail down the details on that.
Very good.
Maybe-
When all else fails, ask Bob Irvin because he knows.
Yep. Bob's the go-to guy for that.
He sure is. So you were speaking. There he is, Bob Irvin.
Yeah,
Look at you, James.
Yeah, we had Bob's picture ready, and maybe I'll tell you about it later in the week. But all reviews are he did a bang-up job.
There at No Kill?
At the Liberty Theater Community
Good.
Center on Thursday evening when they had the what they called the historical. It wasn't a reenactment, but they did a historical film.
Yes.
50s, 60s, and 70s scenes. I understand that was very illuminating and entertaining.
I'll bet.
Especially for the young folks who didn't know what Oak Hill looked like, and for the old folks who remembered what it looked like. So
There you go.
Bob Irvin dressed up in period garb and gave a great history of Oak Hill. I wouldn't be surprised if he put out some new information because he is always digging.
He sure is.
He is a treasure for Jackson
Yes,
County.
he is.
Truly is,
Absolutely.
and still going strong.
Yep,
Well into his 80s.
that's right.
Doesn't look like it, but he's well into his 80s.
Sure doesn't. All right. Well, thank you, Pete, and everybody that stopped by this morning. It's always fun to have you guys here and learn about what happened either over the weekend or is coming up in our future. So don't forget, Cycle Search 2023 is underway. So if you missed that clue, you got to listen. And that key packet is hidden out there somewhere. Don't forget, it is on public land. Don't be traipsing across people's cornfields and stuff.
Right. I'm guessing you shouldn't dive in any creeks or rivers either.
No, it's somewhere safe and somewhere on public land. We can tell you that. And none of us know, so don't ask us. All right. Weather all over the place this week. It's going to be anywhere from the 40s to 80 and then back down. So that's all I can tell you about that.
Okay.
Stick your head out the window.
Then 80s in February.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. I'm going to hang around for that.
I know, right?
Okay.
I think that's around Thursday.
Okay.
So, all right. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be right back here tomorrow. Have a great day.
This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website.
thetelegramnews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, thetelegramnews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
TheTelegramNews.com.
Subscribe today at thetelegramnews.com.
Check it out.